Ceremony 2025. Coming first to the ring to induct our first Hall of Famer is the Greek god Papa Dog and Hall of Famers Nywc and Dickie Ross. Ladies and gentlemen, the Greek god, Papa Dog. How's everyone today? Woo! Lovely, lovely. When I was asked to do this, I was a little verklempt because the individual that I'm introducing into the Hall of Fame isn't only just a brother in arms, a brother from the ring, he's my friend. And in this business, they say you only get so many friends, you can fit them, on one hand, meaning there's less than 5. But I've been very fortunate to say that I've been friends with a lot of people. But this individual in particular goes all the way back, many, many, many years to the Bobby Lombardi LIWF Doghouse, where him, myself, my former tag team partner that I miss very dearly, may he rest in peace, Ed Toscano, aka Havoc. Formed a tag team with a manager called The Solution. Now, we toured up and down the East Coast, had a hell of a time, a hell of a run. Won many championships, had a lot of good matches. But it's the in-between sessions that you people don't know about. The car rides, the miles, the camaraderie, and all the shenanigans in between that is the glue that keeps us and our friendships together. I've always said that John Shane, the sure thing John Shane, is by far the greatest manager never to be on TV. And I will stick to that statement to the day I'm 6 feet under, because the fact of the matter is, he loves this business. He loves the locker room, he loves the fans, he has a great mind for professional wrestling. He loves everything and everybody involved. And that passion is what kept him going for so many years. And I was very fortunate to have him by my side. And over the course of the last 12 months or so, he came back and had a hell of a run here at NYWC. And we had a great time putting his nephew in exactly where he needed to be. But enough about that. Allow me to introduce this year's Hall of Fame induction, John the Sure Thing Shane. Can we get a holy shit chant for that, please?
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
It is my distinct pleasure, but most importantly, John, it's my honor to induct you into the Hall of Fame because you deserve it. So please, take this mic and do what you do best. Lyrically, finish what I started.
That's an inside joke I can't tell, right? But that's right. First of all, I gotta thank my fellow inductees, big time Tony Burma. I remember big time when he broke in with Spinelli. They were a hell of a tag team. The Solution tangled with them a few times. And let's not forget everybody's favorite wrestler, Dan Barry. I've known Dan and his family since the 90s, and what I can tell you about Dan, when I had one of my first matches, I was in Greenport working against Tugboat, and Dan was in elementary school. He's in the first row, wearing a cat in a hat, ragging on the good guys, and I said, this guy's gonna go far. But first of all, I have to thank the management at NYWC, Chris Perry, Shane, Normie, Dirty, all those guys, thank you so much. Going into this Hall of Fame, following the second manager going in and following Crusher Dugan. Let's hear it from Crusher Dugan. And I know for a fact I won't be the last manager because I know Prince Charles will be put in here a few years, I'm sure. So hopefully, right? Maybe? I don't know. If I say, I can say anything now. Okay. All right, you know what? Going into, I love managing. I love that part of the business. It's an old school part of wrestling. It's kind of forgotten a little bit today because back in the day, when a wrestler wanted to get in the business, somebody would bring him in and he would learn the ropes, but he needed to be with a manager that could get the heat and get the people to hate him. And that's what I did pretty damn good. When I think about my career, I've been beat up by fans and wrestlers. I've been slapped around. I've been stripped of my underwear 3 times. And that is not happening tonight.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah, the after party, yeah, you're right. And I gotta say, you know what? I loved every minute of it. And, I should tell you a couple stories. I don't know, I'll tell a few stories. Because that's what I'm known for, is telling stories. Dan Barry was out here, and we're going to see in a little while. But what I remember, another story, we did a road trip. It was Havoc and Papa Don, and me and Dan were in the back seat. And Jimmy, Papa Don, had an ability of kind of falling asleep. He did one of these things, You want to be driving like one of these, right? So I'm sitting next to Dan. Dan's holding rosary beads, saying a Hail Mary. And I'm sitting there going, oh geez. But the classic story with those two, and I wasn't there that night, but it's classic. Ed fell asleep, and Jimmy was driving, and all of a sudden, the car stopped. And Ed goes, oh, I'm home, and he opens the door. Jimmy fell asleep in the middle of Route 80. Ed almost gets hit by a car, and what the hell? Screaming at Jimmy. And they drive, and Jimmy goes, you fell asleep too. And he goes, I wasn't driving! But I tell you, before I say my thank yous and everything, I gotta say, going out with the Solution, I would not have a career without Papa Don and Havoc. And is Matt Toscano here tonight? Is Matt here? I guess not. Matt, Ed's brother, we invited. Let me tell you something about Havoc. He is still with me and Jimmy, and I gotta say what Jimmy was talking about before. When it comes to chemistry with wrestlers, it's not only that important to have that chemistry in the ring, but you need that chemistry outside the ring. And we have it in spades. We miss Ed every day, and Jimmy has, like you said, this last year door gave me life to come back into this business, and I greatly appreciate it. Now, I'm going to talk to some of you guys for a minute. All right. As I say, my final, I kind of want to give my thank yous out. First of all, to some great promoters, Bobby Lombardi at the Doghouse gave me some opportunities, and Billy Firehawk in cyberspace. Got to thank those two guys. And now to the NYWC locker room. All right. First, the OGs. Billy, you and I go back to Doghouse days, brother. Do you know this man, when I first met him, was known as Chris Michaels, and he was wrestling The Undertaker and Ric Flair, and he wrestled just about everybody. Let's hear it for Joe Pierce. And Big Mike, Big Guido, you're around here somewhere. Where are you? All right, Big Mike, I'm sure he's around here somewhere. All right, there you go, Big Mike, Guido, CJ. All right, now I want to talk to the young guys, okay? All right, Jorge, CJ, Rich, you guys, Amity, Joey Conway. Let me tell you something. A couple of years, the last couple of years, health-wise, has not been the best for me. Not been the best at all. Some of you know I went through cancer about 10 years ago, and now neuropathy has screwed up my walking and my balance. But you guys, you gave me a reason to get up every morning and come here. You guys gave me a reason. You gave me respect. You listened to my stories, and some of you have heard them a million times, but you were still polite. I know Kyle's somewhere in the building, and I got it also. Kyle has heard all my stories 3, 4 times, and I said, did I tell you this before? He goes, yeah, but keep going, John, it's up for time. So I get that stuff a lot, but you guys took me, and I was not feeling very good, but you gave me that respect, and I will never forget that. And I do wish I had a chance to manage the FBI, it's funny, because it's funny, some of these kids come up to me, like Alvin Alvarez comes up to me and goes, I hated you when I was a kid. And so I don't know what to tell you, Al, whatever. But, all right, once more, I just want to thank everybody who had anything to do with this, and especially my brother forever, Papa Don. I want to thank my family for coming out. Almost the whole family is here, and if I don't say hello to them, I'm going to hear about it later. So, and my rock friend is here tonight, so thank you. And my kids, and this is terrific. So, NYWC, thank you very much. John Shane, thanks all of you, and enjoy the rest of the night.
Everybody give it up! Big first inductee, John the Short Man Shane! Before we forget, ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Fame tonight has been brought to you by Better Homes Massapequa, and also do not forget the after party at the Ridgewood Cafe. Without further ado, introducing your second inductee of 2025. It is Juba and NYWC Hall of Famer, Spider.
That's all Dan's family. Teresa, I'm going to speak with about it's an honor to be asked to induct Dan into the NYWC Hall of Fame. I was the third person he asked. The other two, nowhere to be found. Our friendship started a little over 10 years ago. We had a mutual friend who went up to Dan to tell him, hey, my buddy Juba's going to do the wrestling thing. Look out. Dan said no. Since then, we basically became roadblocks. I've seen more cities in this country with Dan Barry than anyone in my life. But before I started wrestling, Dickie knows this. When I was 13, I've been a fan of this company. So I've seen Dan evolve like a true Long Islander. When he started, he was super happy of his heritage and became an Irish-American wrestler. Then, when teaming with Alex Reynolds, he thought, I have to be a bad guy. What do Long Islanders not like?
AEW.
People from the Hamptons. So he bought a polo shirt, popped collar, and people did not like him. And then one day he must have got out of the shower, looked in the mirror, and said, ah, crap, I look like a cop. I should be a cop. And then that soared. With that, Dan has wrestled in multiple countries, standing ovations. Ireland thinks he's one of them. I don't understand it. But, yeah, everyone was so nice. I thought, what would Dan wear? And now I just look like an asshole. I'll keep it to that. It's my honor to bring out everyone's favorite wrestler. Is that right? Dan Barry. I don't know personally if I'm going to do anything else in wrestling, so this is the last thing I do. It is an honor to induct my best friend into this conversation.
Thank you, Tuba. This is very nice. I think I'm the only person who wrote anything, and now I feel like a real jerk. So first off, thank you to NYWC for allowing me to be in a Hall of Fame. This is hard. Like, I want to thank all the wrestlers I've ever had the pleasure of working with. I finally want to thank my family for always asking, are you still doing that wrestling thing? It's a running theme. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, and I mean this sincerely, I should have been here sooner. Like, I don't know what took you guys so long. Spider went before me? Is that what we... He was in the ring, guys. I'm sorry. You deserved it. I love Spider. I told him I'd pick one of the three of them, and I picked Spider. So I'm not good with dates or accomplishments. I'm not that person. I don't really take credit or think about like my career as a whole. So I went on ChatGPT and I asked it what I've done in pro wrestling because I don't remember. So here's what I got. I got a 3-time NYWC lightweight champion, former SSCW lightweight champion, former NYWC Hi-Fi champion, former FTW Gen X champion, former CTWE tag team champion, former RWE Internet champion, which is a title so prestigious the company closed the next day. I'm very famous, don't you guys? I'm a former 3-time NYWC Tag Team Champion, a former ISW Tag Team Champion, a former CZW Tag Team Champion, a title I won by beating the Young Bucks in the ECW Arena. And they're millionaires, and I am Stu London. A 2-time ISW Champion, a Pro Wrestling Revolver Tag Team Champion, the former NYWC Fusion Champion. And one time I almost had a whole wrestling convention shut down because I had a death match with Bill Carr. And that is true. Thank you for you were there. I'm 42 years old, and for 60% of my life, I have been a professional wrestler. But a professional wrestler Hall of Fame, at its core, is really fucking weird. Just to be honest. Because if you think about that, I want to ask you guys yourself a question right now. Is it weird to induct someone into a Hall of Fame if they still have student loan debt? And secondly, what is this guy's name again? If you've asked either of those questions, I don't know that a Hall of Fame makes sense. In the grand scheme of the world, pro wrestling doesn't really seem all that important. I'll bet half of you guys are only here because you know someone being inducted or somebody's wrestling on the card. You don't get pro wrestling, you're just kind of here observing. And at the end of the day, you think this whole thing is kind of silly. My family's over there. This is the second show they've ever seen. Thanks, Mom. I'm being heckled by family. This is great. This is what I need. I should have started drinking earlier. To professional wrestlers and fans of professional wrestling, wrestling means so much. First off, wrestling has introduced me to people from all walks of life. People I would have never met had it not been for wrestling. I have friends who are rich and poor, white, black, Latino, Asian, gay, straight, bi, trans, Republican, Democrat, and even Juba. I've had the opportunity to see the world on somebody else's dime, from wrestling at a community center in Deer Park to a Knights of Columbus in Ottawa, Ontario, walking Dominic Mysterio to the ring at WrestleMania 39, to the White Eagle in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Oh.
From Mulcahy's in Wantagh to an iconic American Legion in Reseda, California, from the Electronic Ballroom in London to the National Stadium in Dublin, from the Elks Lodge in Queens to the ECW Arena. I've shared locker rooms with stars in the future and the past. I became friends with people I looked up to, like Mikey Whipwreck and Mick Foley. I've had the opportunity to interview people on a High Spots television show, and I once drunkenly traded pants with David Arquette in Manhattan. But let me tell you a story about the power of professional wrestling. In December of 2021, I was at home incredibly sick. I had gotten COVID for the second time, and unfortunately for me, that meant I couldn't move at all. When I was on my couch, I was upset that I was not going to see my family for Christmas, when my sister-in-law, who is here today, sent me a Facebook post about a young boy from Chicago named Max. Max was disabled, and he was going to have brain surgery that week, and he was not going to be able to go home to see his family. So I was feeling bad for myself, and decided I'd try and do something. So I messaged a couple of my friends and said, would you mind sending this kid a video? He's a big wrestling fan. So first was John Silver and Alex Reynolds, who met with the Dark Order in AEW to send him a video. From there, that started to spread. And suddenly other AEW wrestlers were sending him videos. Word had spread, then TNA roster had started sending this young boy videos, and suddenly the WWE started sending him videos. At the end of the day, Max had received videos from gifts from wrestlers like Charlotte Flair, Natty Neidhart, Baron Corbin, Aleister Black, and Zelina Vega, Kevin Owens, The Miz, Mick Foley, Edge, and Drew McIntyre. Max's family was blown away to see complete strangers who had no clue who Max was, but just wanted to help this little boy be happy before Christmas. And what I can say is I'm happy to say that Max not only got to go home for Christmas that year, he also got to go to the Royal Rumble as a special guest with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. So yeah, wrestling is silly, and in the grand scheme of the world, professional wrestling is not very important. But to that boy on that week, pro wrestling meant absolutely everything. Life's unpredictable, as we heard before. Life's unpredictable, and no one knows what tomorrow will bring. But if this all ends with me tomorrow, my obituary is going to read Dan Barry, professional wrestler, and that's all I've ever wanted out of life. So thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your second inductee, Dan Barry! And without further ado, the person I think a lot of you are here for, the hometown boy, well, close to hometown, right? Close enough. And to induct him into the NYWC Hall of Fame 2025 class,
It's gotta be his
please
name.
welcome ECW Original
Oh.
and NYWC Hall of Famer, Mikey
Okay.
Whipwreck! all right?
Yeah.
Well, come on, I said, are you doing all right?
Woo!
That's a little better. That's a little better.
EC Dub, EC Dub, EC Dub.
ECW is great, but tonight's about NYWC.
NYWC. NYWC.
That was close.
NYWC.
So, I came to NYWC in 2004. I think it was 2004. Shane could correct me if I was wrong. And I remember Shane calling me up and saying, Mikey, would you mind coming in and being my tag team partner for a show that we have at the Deer Park Community Center? And I said to Shane, okay, yeah, I'll do it, but I'll tell you, I'm coming dressed in my gear, and I'm leaving as soon as it is over. Here we are, 2025, I'm still lingering. Still leaving as soon as this is over, that's correct. So I decided to stay, and then 2005, I think, I got a booking in Danbury, Connecticut. And being these kids were young and really had no money, I offered to drive. So it was Dan, myself, Shane,
I think that's a real place.
and the guy I'm about to bring out here, big time Tony Burma. And for those of you that know Tony, you guys know that he does not shut up. And I didn't know him that well at this point, so I remember looking in the back seat and saying, Tony, you know, you're a great guy in really small doses. But I'm proud to say that I was wrong, and Tony Burma is a great guy all the time. So without any further ado, I would like to bring out the next inductee into the NYWC Hall of Fame, your local boy, big time Tony Burma. Tony, long time no see. Real quick, hey, everybody back there, how do you guys feel staring at Newc's ass for the past 20 minutes? I'm sorry about that. You know, Tony, something doesn't feel right to me right now. Something's missing. Something big is missing. Something mega is missing.
Oh. I think I know. He's the one, if you guys remember, he's the one that inducted Willow Nightingale back in October, the NYWC. some other effort.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you NYWC Hall of Famer, King Mega.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is so good to be home in NYWC and Long Island. It's been a minute. I've known you for 25 years. Long time. We are not only, we have been opponents in the ring, tag team partners, but more importantly, friends. We've gone to many places. Our favorite place is Vegas. And as that lovely lady knows, and he knows, when you go to Vegas, be careful of the ice. They put something in the ice. And if you ever go to the gun store, don't drink beforehand. They won't let you in. It's so great to be here. I wouldn't have missed this for the world, for you, for the Duke and Cup. You know, I've shared a ring with all you guys are my friends, my family. I know you don't want me to say anything, but this guy is not only a mentor, but a friend, a legit living legend. And this guy right here is a hell of a father. If you guys don't know, this is his son, Braden. This kid has lived in 10 years more than most of half of you've done in all your lives. Trust me. It's because of that guy right there. Now he's bringing some heat, but he's a Mets fan. And a Bills fan.
I don't care about football.
We're in 2 fantasy leagues together. I won one last year. And in the other league, I'm in first place. So, you want to make a trade? Here and now? But seriously, I'm so grateful, so happy for you to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's so rightly deserved. You are a special human being, a special man, a special friend, and I'm so happy to have you inducted into the Hall of Fame. And not only call you my brother in life, but brother to the Hall of Fame. Welcome to the Hall of Fame, brother.
Yeah, there's actually one more surprise. So if my buddy up there in the booth can help me out here, we have one more person who had some words to say about Mr. Burma here going into the Hall of Fame.
What up, big time?
What is this?
Sorry I can't be there tonight for your big night. If there was a Hall of Fame for people who influenced my career or helped me along the way, you would be a first ballot Hall of Famer for sure. But more importantly, tonight, you become an NYWC Hall of Famer. And I can't think of anybody who deserves it more than you. I'm so thankful for the influence you had on my career and being a small part in your journey to be where you truly belong in the NYWC Hall of Fame. Congrats to you.
Wilson. class for you. Would you like to say a little something? Shut up, Jimmy. Oh, it's Dan. Sorry, that's Jimmy. Always getting the heat when somebody else is wrong, dude. But hey, guys, this has been amazing. I know the running joke is that I don't shut my mouth and I keep talking. I'm gonna keep it very simple. I wish my dad was here. We bonded over this, the same way him and I bonded over this. So this art form holds such a special place to me, and since I can remember, this is all I ever wanted to do. Now, I may not have made a great living off of this business, but my life took an unexpected turn when I met that amazing woman right there. And we created two amazing kids together and built a beautiful home. And all of a sudden, the fact that I wasn't going to be out on TV every week and traveling the road every week didn't seem like such a bad idea. In fact, I think I lucked out. I love you. Mikey, straight up, brother, nobody has done more for me in this wrestling business than him. Any good opportunity I ever got was because he put a word in for me somewhere, or, referred me and did the right thing by me. And on top of that, more importantly, you have taught me so much about life and how to handle things. You say what a great guy I am. Part of that, a very big part of that, is because of you and the things that you've taught me. Thank you. And that goes double for you, my man. My man. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys so much. All the talent of NYWC, the management, everybody I ever shared a ring with, anybody I have a great story with on the road or in the locker room. And I'm going to close it off like this, folks. Believe me when I tell you, the best is yet to come. Give it up one more time for Big Time Tony Burma, Dan Barry, and the sure thing, John Shane, your 2025 inductees into the NYWC Hall of Fame.
That's Crusher Dugan over there.